Now to breaking news at UCLA, where protests against the war in Gaza continue after a violent night. Desmond Shaw is live in SkyCal with a look at what's happening right now. Des?
Well, Juan, after the outright anarchy that we saw last night on the campus of the UCLA, very different tone here so far. We'll see if that lasts. Now, as I show you here, one section of the university where we are seeing a major law enforcement contingency here. You've basically got all levels of law enforcement. The folks in the blue, that's UCLA security, but you also have LAPD out here in riot gear. You see LA County Sheriff's deputies here as well. We know CHP was on the campus last night and helped LAPD break up that insane situation that we saw. Let's show you some of that video as well, as we are monitoring this situation on one of the bridges between the campus and the parking garage. It's not exactly clear what happened. Here's a group of protesters who have been awfully agitated about some situation. There was someone who was here on the ground. They were in handcuffs for quite some time. But LAPD and the sheriff's deputies, it's unclear who detained them, but they just released them from those from their handcuffs and let them rejoin the protesters. And we saw the protesters basically cheering that move. So unclear what all of that was about. I want to widen out and show you the campus here, and we're going to see a lot more LAPD as school police presence here. You can see, I believe that's UCLA school police right here. But check out this contingency of LA County Sheriff's deputies that are now here on the campus. They have a bunch of their squad cars out here. It is a very, very busy afternoon, not just with law enforcement. There's some campus officials. A lot of students are coming out here. Everyone's got a camera just for social media or for their own purposes. Lots and lots of recording going on. Here is the edge of the protest here, the pro-Palestinian encampment. And so this is all still completely intact, which is, you know, after what we saw last night. Calm has returned, at least for now. Now, down here somewhere, for whatever reason, we can confirm that Dr. Phil is on the campus. We saw him with a big contingency of press. Not sure what he's doing here, if it's for some kind of a mediation purpose or for publicity. Not exactly clear at this point. So LAPD, the Chancellor's office, they're not giving us any kind of timeline yet for breaking this up. There hasn't been any talk other than the statement that we heard last night about them saying that the encampment, needs to go. But there hasn't been any talk of actively tearing that down today. So the encampment is intact. We're not seeing the crazy violence that we saw last night. Law enforcement has a much more stepped up presence on the campus, and we'll just have to see how this progresses throughout the afternoon and the evening. I have a feeling we're going to be here for many hours. Live in SkyCal overhead, I'm Desmond Shaw. Juan, just going to send it back to you now in the studio.
Yeah, it definitely looks a lot better than it did last night between the hours of 11 p.m. and midnight. All right, Desmond, thank you so much for that. Well, this afternoon, the UCLA Chancellor, Gene Block, issued a statement about the violence that we saw last night. He said there will be a thorough investigation, including a probe into the university's own security process. He called the violence, quote, a dark chapter in our campus history, end quote, but that, quote, we will restore a safe learning environment at UCLA. Meanwhile, at UC Riverside, SkyCal was also over a large gathering similar to other campuses nationwide. Earlier, there was talk about a possible faculty walkout, but we have not heard or seen anything happen just yet. But over at USC, a major walkout is planned for 5 p.m. today. So stay with CBS News Los Angeles as we continue to monitor campuses' protests near and far.